In the 7.4 ready, we'll be looking at the corresponding parts of figures and whether reflections were involved with the transformations. So what they want us to do is, given these figures in each sketch, there's either some sides or some angles that are marked congruent. We're going to begin by listing out which parts that are the corresponding congruent pieces that they've marked. We're only going to list out which parts are actually marked. Okay, for instance, in the first problem, yes, it's a triangle. That means there's 3 angles, 3 sides. But we're not going to list all 6. We're only going to mark the ones that are actually marked congruent. That if it's tick marks are along the edge or a side, right, that's a side that we have marked off. So if you see the tick marks actually on the lines, the segments, those are sides. If the tick mark or the little angle marker is inside between where the 2 sides meet at the vertex, that's an angle. And then once we've done that, we're going to determine whether reflection was used in the sequence of transformations. Okay, or can it just be a rotation or translation? Okay, so we want to lastly figure out whether reflections had to be used. So if we look at the first problem, I see 3 things that are marked off. Now in the example they gave us is that angle C and angle R are congruent. The congruent symbol is that equal sign with a little tilde above it. Okay, that's congruent. Congruent means same size, same shape. So we've got angles C and R are congruent. What else do we have marked congruent? Well, I see some tick marks. For instance, along CB, that's a side. So side CB would be congruent to another side. What side would that also be congruent to in the other triangle? Well, that would be RS. So we'll say segment CB is congruent to segment RS. For the angles, we use the little angle symbol. For the sides, we use the little bar above it. I mean segment or side. Well, what's the double tick mark? What would the congruent statement be there? Well, that would be side either CA or AC. So I'm going to say side AC is congruent to, look for the double tick mark on the other figure, and that would be RT. So either CA is congruent to RT, or we can say AC is congruent to TR. Is there anything else that's marked? No, that's it. We got 3 things. We got the 1 angle, and we got the 2 sides. Now the next question is, was a reflection involved? Or could we translate and just rotate this one? So take a look at it. If we were to rotate it, would they match up? No. If we were to put that long side CA down at the bottom, then that short little slanted side AB would be on the wrong side. TS, the little short side, is on the right. But if we were to rotate our triangle around, we're going to see that our little short side would be on the left. Okay, so if we look at this, if I translate it over and start turning it, there's no way where it's going to quite line up. So this means a reflection had to be involved. So we'll go and circle yes. Now on the next one, there's a lot more parts. I'm looking at that one and I'm seeing 6 things that are marked congruent. So when you do this one, you have to list 6 things this time and then determine whether reflection is involved. If you have the tracing paper, you might need the tracing paper just to kind of turn it if you can't just look at it and tell, okay? So good luck with the rest of the ready.